Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing another speed build in The Sims 4. We are building a little bit more of a mid-century modern house. I'm really pleased with how it turns out, although I did start building this like probably 4 months ago or something ridiculous. I built this forever ago and I've just been procrastinating doing the voiceover. At first I was procrastinating editing it because there was like an hour of sped up footage and I was like, oh my god, how am I gonna cut this down to something that is like feasible for me to do as a voiceover? And then after I did that, I was like, oh my god, how am I gonna do a voiceover? I am a Twitch streamer, so I'm used to talking to myself. I'm talking to myself on Twitch and there are other people there chatting to me. So at least I'm getting feedback that way. But with voiceovers, it's a lot more daunting because there's absolutely no feedback. And I don't know. It's just really, it's hard for me to do them. I feel like I make a big deal about them and then it's not actually that bad. But I've also just had a lot of technical difficulties in the past recording voiceovers. In fact, I just recorded like 3 minutes worth of talking and it was only 3 minutes, so it wasn't that big of a deal. I didn't press record and I noticed and I was just like, oh my god, Anna, you idiot. So we're back and I'm back doing the voiceover again. At least I caught myself pretty early on. That would have been incredibly tragic. But we are here doing a bit of a blue mid-century modern. You've heard of a blue suburban, now get ready for blue mid-century modern. It doesn't quite flow off the tongue as well, but I still think it's nice. It's good vibes. But I do really like this style of house and I think this one turned out really nice. I think it's hard to tell when you first build something how it turned out because you're so like, you've been looking at it forever, but taking a step back, it's been a few months. I really like this house. I'm super proud of it. I think the landscaping turned out really nice too. I used a lot of cacti and stuff since we are building in Oasis Springs. You can see me placing them down now, some debug succulents. I think they ended up really pretty, if I do say so myself. But I did use a reference image for this build. It was just like I looked up mid-century modern house or something like that on Google and built something inspired by one of the images I found. I find that's really a good way to get inspiration if you want to branch out and build something that looks a bit different to what you normally build. I'm super used to building suburban houses. I can build a suburban house with my eyes closed. It's super easy for me to come up with one like out of the blue. Don't have to look up any reference images. But with modern houses and like mid-century modern houses and stuff like that, it can be a lot harder for me to come up with an idea sort of and just, you know, go with the flow and build build myself. So I do really like finding reference pictures on Google. I also think it's a fun challenge to like make it work in The Sims, if that makes sense. I'm really proud of how this house turned out. I think that the furnishing on the inside is super cute and I like everything on the outside too. I just think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I did end up cutting out a lot of me like fiddling with different item choices because when I first edited the video and sped all the footage up, it was like a ridiculously long amount of time I was never going to be able to record a voiceover for. So I ended up cutting it down a lot, and so if it jumps around a bit, that is why. I really like how I ended up doing the floors. This is a trick I learned from watching Evelyn. She is an amazing builder, a Sims YouTuber. Definitely go check her out if you haven't heard of her. She does really cool and creative builds. She's definitely one of my build inspirations. She's very talented. But yeah, I really like the eco lifestyle windows and doors. I think they ended up fitting in really well with this mid-century vibe, even though they're not really meant to be mid-century. I don't really know if it makes sense or if they fit or if I'm just making that up, but I like how they look. I think they fit well. One thing that really annoys me, so I'm just like fiddling with the curtains there. I hate how curtains always snap to windows. It's absolutely infuriating. I wish we could place them wherever we want without having to just jostle the windows all around and make everything go crazy. But, you know, these things happen. We can't win them all. And I'm just doing more of that same floor trick. And I actually spent a ridiculous amount of time in the bedroom. And for what? Like, I do this whole thing and then I undo it. You'll see in a moment. You're gonna be so mad at me because I like switch everything up and then I put it back to how it was originally. Like I changed the bed, I changed the decorations and everything, and then it ends up being very similar to what I had originally put It's definitely a problem. I am very, very indecisive when I build, and I'm trying to get better at that because it makes building take a like unreasonable amount of time for me, and it makes it like not feasible to do as many speed builds as I want to. Like, I want to start doing more speed builds. I know this is only my second speed build, but I would really love to start doing more speed builds because I do love building in this game, and I think I'm like pretty decent at it. And now that I'm streaming a lot more Sims, I build a lot on stream, and it takes me so long. I have never ever taken less than 3 streams to build a house. And we have a sample size of 2 so far, so it's very upsetting. Like, and all of my streams are 3 hours or longer, so it's like, wow, like, girl, you need help. So I've tried to be less indecisive and going with my gut and like picking an item and just sticking with it and being like, okay, I like that, that works, we're not gonna think about it too much, don't overthink it. But I'm so bad at it. I am so bad at it, and it's like, it's really not going to affect the build that much if I don't overthink it and don't like spend 10 minutes looking for the perfect rug as I am doing in this bedroom as we speak. But I feel like that's part of, I don't want to say the process, that sounds so pretentious, but that's just part of how I've always built, and I'm worried, like, what if I start making the wrong decisions and my builds get worse? But I think that having confidence is important, and hopefully I'll start to have more, like, not confidence, but just more gusto, a better ability to pick an item and just stick with it and go with my gut. But yeah, I do also really like the furniture items from Get Famous. I feel like Get Famous has been a little bit slept on recently. I think it has really good items. I'm a bit biased because I do love mid-century modern decorating and building. It is one of my like favorite styles to look at, and I really enjoy trying to do mid-century modern interiors. So I'm a little bit biased, but I think that Get Famous has really good items, and it's a bit slept on. So that's my hot take. But I do really like using that tiny 2x1 closet. It's such a good way to like waste space if you have an awkwardly sized room or just a little nook you have to put something in. I love it. And you actually only have to have one side of the closet be accessible for your Sims to use it, because they only obviously they only like use one of the doors. So it's actually good way to use some space. But here we go again. I'm literally just fiddling with the rugs for no reason. Calm down. Now we are gonna go ahead and work on the kitchen. This kitchen is like my pride and joy. It is so good. Okay, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. The clutter is very good. I put a lot of clutter on the open shelving, and I think it ended up looking really nice. And I am obsessed with these island living counters. I overuse them. I was gonna say I use them a lot. I overuse them for sure, but they're just so perfect. I feel like they fit in every build. Maybe not every build, but like all the builds I do, they fit really well into. And here we go. You can see me being indecisive as always again, and doing that cute little floor trick. It's very good. I would definitely recommend you use it. It's a nice way to spruce up some floor swatches, you know, since we don't get a lot of new swatches. Get a couple every few months, you know. But here we go. I'm going in with the open shelving now, and I'll be just alt placing a lot of clutter on them in a bit. But I do really like the island living counters and everything. They're so cool. I wanted this kitchen to look super luxurious and like not modern, but you know, like fancy person, like a fancy person kitchen. Like a kitchen you would, like a dream kitchen almost, if that makes sense. And I think it is a pretty nice kitchen. I really like this little sitting nook right by the kitchen. I don't know if it makes very much sense. Like, I don't know why you would have 2 chairs just by your kitchen, but I think it's nice anyways. I don't really care. I don't care if it makes sense. This is The Sims. I just needed something to put in that little nook, so that's what I put. And this is just, honestly, this room is really small, but I think it's very cozy. It's just like a kid's room or a teen's room. I think this is a kid's room. There's a blarfy, but a cat blarfy. I don't know what it's called. I'm sorry. And a craft table. So yeah, this is definitely a kid's room, but I think it's really cozy and cute. A little bit sophisticated, like maybe it's a bit of an older child, like verging on teenhood, you know what I mean? because it's a very nice color scheme and it's pretty well decorated. I'm the one who decorated it. Of course I'm gonna say it's well decorated. And I also did kind of pop off with the bathrooms in this build. Not to like toot my own horn, but I think they ended up really cute. I honestly just, maybe I'm indecisive and maybe it takes me a really long time to build literally anything, but maybe it's worth it because I really do like how this build turned out. I feel so like disconnected from it now. I don't think I would ever be talking this way about a build I built like last week, but I built this months ago, so I'm kind of looking at it and I don't feel that much like attachment to it. You know what I mean? It's been so long since I made it that it doesn't really feel like it's mine, if that makes sense. So it's a bit weird watching this back, but I did pop off. We did do something. We definitely did something. I feel like a lot of builders don't really like make an effort to make their bathrooms look cute. I usually don't, but I definitely did go all out with this house and I'm proud of it. I definitely am proud of it. But okay, something I really like, I think I copied this from Lil Simsy. She like galley kitchens. I feel like she does them pretty often. I don't know. She's done galley kitchens in the past, and I like never thought about putting a door right in between the two counters like that before I had seen her do it, but I was like, oh, like I really like that. And this was years ago that I saw her do that and was like, I'm gonna steal that. So now whenever I do galley kitchens like that and put a door in the middle, I'm like, thanks, Lil Simsy. Thanks for the inspo. for my like 17-year-old self building in The Sims. I ended up putting a shower and a tub in this bathroom. This is a really big bathroom. I just realized there's not really an ensuite in this house, huh? I think that's fine. It kind of sucks though, because the bathroom that's like off the master bedroom, that's closer to the master bedroom, it's definitely smaller and definitely like objectively the worst bathroom. And here we go. I'm cluttering up these shelves like I promised that I would. The red shelf I'm using is called the OMSP shelf. It is a CC shelf that helps with like cluttering and alt placing things easier, because it has a bunch of like slots that all of the items you might want to use can slot onto, so you don't have to raise it up with the like 0 and 9 keys, so that you can get like the perfect height for the clutter you want to place on any surface. So it's very, very good. I'll try to put a link to it in the description. Would definitely recommend using it. I don't really use build CC in my builds, especially not ones that I'm gonna like post on YouTube. So obviously just use the shelf to place the clutter, and then you delete the shelf from the build and you say it never happens. But I have been getting a lot more into build CC just in my personal builds, because it gives you so much power. It's like I can have whatever I want, you know? EA, I am not beholden to EA. EA is nothing to me. Although there are obviously a lot of really good items in the game, but it's fun to kind of go shopping and get some new items, spoil yourself, you know? I have gotten really into this creator called Peacemaker's CC items. I think they have some really good items. So I've used those in a couple builds that I've just done for fun for myself. Maybe I would think about posting a CC speed build at some point and just putting all the CC links in the description. I think that could be fun. But I also do like the challenge of not using CC. You kind of have to get creative with the usage of your items, which I think is a big part of what makes building in The Sims fun to me. It's like, oh, like look what I did, like look what I thought of, or not me, but like when people do really creative things like that, it's very exciting. And we're going back to cluttering. What I do a lot in my builds is I'll place down all the big furniture pieces first, and then once I have sort of all of the basics covered, I'll go back and place clutter on the surfaces and decorate the place. This is some nice dresser clutter. I feel like I've stopped doing quite as much clutter in my builds recently because I'm lazy and a piece of poo. But watching this build back is making me want to go back to my cluttering ways. Also, can we talk about this bowling night stuff? Hallway table, because low-key it's pretty cute. I think bowling night stuff also has some really, really nice items. A lot of times in Twitch chat, people will ask me like, oh, like what's your favorite pack? It's so hard for me to answer because I feel like the packs are a lot worse if they don't like have each other, you know what I mean? Like I would never get any use out of the beautiful table and chairs from bowling night stuff if I didn't also have seasons and get famous and other packs that I can use them with, you know, together. They all complement each other so well. So when someone's like, oh, what's your favorite pack? I'm like, all of them. All of them. So it's a struggle. Honestly, people also will ask me, like, what's your favorite Animal Crossing villager? I am bad at picking favorites. Do not ask me to pick favorites because I cannot do it. I like everything. I love them all. And that's just how I feel. I also, okay, something I've noticed. I literally put pools in like every single backyard. I've learned I do not know how to decorate a backyard. I know how to put down a pool and put some chairs around the pool, but I cannot decorate a backyard. I think I need to work on that. I really need to work on that. It's weird how, you know, watching back your builds or like building in front of people on Twitch, it makes you so aware of what you're doing and your habits. It's really funny. But oh, did I end up making this pool a weird shape? I think I keep this. I like it. I like it. Another thing I always think about when I place down girls, obviously I always want to put them on a wall so they have like support. So they're like, you know, they're grounded in the design, if that makes sense. But I am always like, would that like start a fire in real life or in The Sims, honestly? Like, could that start a fire? It just seems a bit precarious to me. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. I think I'm just scared of fire in The Sims. Got Sims peeing fire. We got stoves being on fire. It's fireplaces. Everything is terrifying. Everything's a threat. Nowhere is safe. But on that note, on that fiery note, I think we are going to go ahead and get into the screenshots. I really hope you enjoyed this speed build. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe and like the video and everything, and follow me on Twitch. Bye! Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the build. I hope you liked the video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!